Hello and welcome to Yes, You Are Brave. This is a podcast where we are going to set off on a journey together to find and build our brave, where we explore all the ways that you have been brave and all the ways that you can be brave again. Because even though we may have forgotten or we may have fallen out of practice, we're all brave. And I'm on a mission to prove it and help you believe that yes, you are brave. Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Yes, You Are Brave. I'm Pawnee, I'm your host. Excited that you are here. Excited that you show up. I have to be honest with you, this week has been a little bit rough. Not really any particular reason, just kind of a rough week. But we all have those, and it's okay. But I wanted to make sure that I showed up for you this week. Because you're the reason that I do this. You're the reason that I get on here every week. You're the reason that I sit in my room and I talk to myself and I feel silly because I know that somewhere out there somebody needs to hear some of the things that I have to say. So this week, in keeping with this theme for February of starting with yourself and being worthy of love and things like that, I've had this thought of a lot about how do I pull these things together? And I've had a few thoughts. And so this one today, I want to talk about how loving yourself is a really it's a radical act of rebellion, okay? Because we live in a time and in a society where a lot of this, there's just a lot of negative everything. And we have to be critical of everything. And people are so critical and so quick to judge and so quick to point out the negative and even taking things that are like good things, they flip them and they twist them in such a way that they are no longer good. So it's like, oh yeah, well, it's like self-improvement, for example. They say, oh yeah, you got to improve yourself, which is a good thing. Improving yourself and always growing and learning and stuff, that's a good thing. But people will take it and they flip it into a negative thing. So it's like, oh, you need to improve yourself because you're this and you're not good enough here and you're not good enough there and this doesn't fit and this doesn't work. And they take that desire to improve and they kind of like flip it on you and they make it so that it's not a good thing anymore. It's a hard thing. Then you just feel defeated before you've even started. And so I think that one of the things where I think that a lot of us need to start, and this is very, very much coming from my own, where I need to be, or what I feel like I need at the moment, is that when we decide to love ourselves, when we decide to put ourselves first and to love ourselves for who we are and flaws and all, not necessarily like letting ourselves stay there, but when we decide to love ourselves and that we're worthy of that love coming from ourselves right where we are, no matter how far we are from where we want to be, we say, okay, you know what? This is where I'm at and this is me and I love me because I deserve love. And that's got to come from me because guess what? The world is not handing out love. The world is handing out self-doubt and self-criticism and negativity in spades, but they're very, very stingy, generally speaking, with love. So when you say, okay, I'm going to start by loving myself, and that goes against all of these things that society is trying to get you to do, that society is trying to get you to buy into, that you're not enough, that you're not where you need to be, that you're not thin enough, you're not smart enough, you're not making enough money, you're not social enough, you're not wearing enough makeup, you're not using the right skincare, you're not. And you know what? Here's what I'm going to do with that. Right now, I'm going to call bullshit on all of those things that they're saying about you that are making you feel like you're not enough. And I'm going to say right here and now, my little rebel, rebel against that. Decide not to buy into that bullshit and just start giving yourself some love and some compassion, because that is what I think we all need. And that is where we feel like we can't do that because we have this false sense of being humble and this idea that for some reason being humble is self-deprecating and talking about how terrible we are all the time. That's not what humility is. Humility is a willingness to change and to see things from other points of view and to realize that you don't know everything. Being humble is not sitting here and pointing out all of your flaws. And can I say that again for the people in the back? Because I think that especially those of us who grow up in very religious homes may have a twisted idea about what humility is. Being humble is not, oh, I'm the worst thing in the world. Being humble is not talking about how terrible you are or how awful you are or you have to be better because you won't deserve whatever. No, being humble is being teachable. Being humble is being, okay, you know what? I don't know everything and I could use some help in this area. And can you explain to me what this is? Being humble is being teachable. Being humble is not guilt tripping yourself into things. Being humble is not digging yourself a hole so deep that you can never get out of that self-loathing. That's not humility. And love is a humble thing. So it's a humble thing and it's also a freeing thing. When you decide that I deserve love and I'm not going to wait for anybody else to give it to me. I'm not going to go looking elsewhere because chances are I'm not going to find it. Or if I find it, it's going to be some cheap knockoff version and it's not going to be what I really need. So I'm going to stop looking for it elsewhere and I'm going to give it to myself. I'm going to open up my own heart and I'm going to allow that love and that compassion to flow from me to me. I know you're a great person and you are more than willing and happy to always be helping somebody else and loving and being there for somebody else. But how often are you there for yourself? That love has to be for you as well. And I would say that it is the ultimate act of freedom. It's the ultimate F you to the world when they tell you that you are not enough. When they tell you that you're not worthy of whatever. You just say, I'm calling BS on that and I'm going to do this anyway. Because you do deserve it, and you can be your own biggest fan. You can. You're enough just the way that you are. Now, I'm not saying that you should stay exactly as you are forever, because I do believe in growth and I do believe in learning and constantly seeking to improve and do better. But you're enough. You are worth so much. You need to learn to understand your worth and to really be okay with your worth and realize that it's okay to love yourself. You don't need to wait for anybody else. You really don't. You're enough and you can accept where you are on your journey while not staying there, right? You can say, okay, you know what? This is a really pretty place and I like it. I appreciate being here. Is it where I want to live forever? No, but I can appreciate it while I'm here. So that is what I have for you this week, is to be your own biggest fan, to be a rebel against the way that people are telling you to be, or the negativity that you feel in the world. Rebel against that. Take your freedom, starting with loving yourself and being kind and compassionate to yourself, because you deserve it. You deserve it, my friend. You so deserve it. And as much as I don't love the fact that you may not get it from somewhere else, you may not. I wish I could be there for you and I could be that person that you need, but I live in one place, and so that may not be possible for me to be physically there and be your best friend like you need. But you can be your own best friend. You really can. And you can be your own biggest fan. That's okay too. Start talking to yourself in a way that is wonderful and awesome, like you talk to your friends. The way that you pump up your friends, start talking to yourself that way. So this last holiday season, I was delivering packages out of my car. and for a major carrier. And I have this thing, I actually really enjoyed it. It was quite fun. Kind of made it a game and all these things, but I would get done loading up my car. And then I would be like, all right, let's go. Or no, I would say, so I would get done loading up my car and I'd be like, all right, and we're off. Because I would, get in my car and I'd have to set up all these little things and make sure I knew what was going anyway. So I'd be like, and we're off. And then, of course, because of it's me, I would say, and then in my mind, I would say, oh, and we're off. And I'd say, to see the wizard, And then after a while, I started thinking, I would say that like 2 or 3 times a day, every time I left with a load of packages. And I got to where I was like, you know what? I was like, wait a minute. So we're not off to see the wizard. I am the wizard. And it was an interesting concept. And it was in this middle of trying to like shift my mindset of a lot of different things. But I started saying that instead of, it would start off as, we're off to see the wizard. Like, nope, I am the wizard. So here's my challenge for you today is to be the wizard. Because here's the thing. In that moment, I was the one that was going around and I was leaving packages on everybody's doorsteps and everybody was happy and it was just like this magical thing that was happening, right? Now, I was just the last stop in I was the last person in a very long line of getting things to people, but it was still kind of an awesome process and it was still an amazing thing that I was doing and I was good at it. So I started being the wizard. My challenge for you this week is to free yourself by loving yourself and be the damn wizard. You don't need to go see some magical person in a wall. You don't need to follow a yellow brick road to get there. You have everything you need. Starts with you, believing in you. And you can be your own wizard. You can. You can. You can. That's what I've got for you this week, is to know that you are enough and start telling yourself that you are enough. And because it's okay. It's okay to be enough, and it's okay to accept where you are, even if you don't want to stay there. It's okay to accept where you are while still working towards something else. And I would say set yourself free. Set yourself free from the expectations and that need to be loved by other people. Yes, we're all going to still have that, but start validating yourself. Start giving yourself what you feel like you need from others. And it's going to set you free in ways that you never imagined, I promise. And you're going to realize that you are the damn wizard, my love. You are. And you don't need anybody else to help you feel that way. But if you do, I'm here. I'm here to be your cheerleader and to be the little brave voice on your shoulder that tells you can do things when you don't believe yourself. Because we do all sometimes need that while we're developing into being our own wizard. So I'm here if you need me. And I'm opening up some coaching slots in the near future. So remember that you are wonderful and amazing and awesome. And you can be free. You can. And you can be your own damn wizard. You are brave enough to love yourself and be the damn wizard. Have a fantastic day.
Thanks for listening, and if you enjoyed what you've heard today, please leave a review down below and share this with anyone that you feel like could use a little more brave in their life. And if you'd like to follow more of my journey to be brave, you can follow me on social media and the link down below. Have a fantastic day, and don't forget to be brave.